You think you're broken? Cute. You're not broken. You're numb. And numbness isn't the absence of emotion. It's emotion on silent mode. So let's start with the first sign. The one that proves your brokenness is actually your brain switching to survival mode. Number 10, you don't react when you should. People shout. Things escalate. Everyone else gets emotional like it's a sport. And you? Nothing. A flat line pretending to be a personality. But here's the twist. Your brain isn't malfunctioning, it's optimizing. Because somewhere in your past, reacting only made things worse. So your survival system made a decision. We don't do that anymore. Emotional numbness isn't a failure. It's an adaptation, a locked door installed by a version of you that was tired of being punished for feeling. People misread it as coldness, but cold isn't the right word. It's insulation, a shock absorber, a firewall built after too many emotional breaches. The truth? If you stop reacting when everyone expects you to explode, it's not because you have no feelings. It's because your brain learned that reacting is expensive and silence is cheaper. What looks like emotional absence is actually a calculated survival budget. You're not empty. You're conserving. Number 9, you avoid good emotions just as much as bad ones. People think numbness only blocks sadness. Adorable. Numbness blocks everything. Joy, excitement, pride, even the small warmth of, I did okay today. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Good emotions are dangerous when you've learned they don't last. Your brain remembers the pattern. Every time you finally felt happy, something came along and crushed it. So your survival system made another executive decision. Let's not get attached to feeling good. It's suspicious. Joy becomes a liability. Hope feels like a setup. Compliments sound like traps. Celebrations feel fake, or worse, temporary. So you don't let yourself rise. Because rising means falling. And your brain is tired of falling. People think you're ungrateful. They don't understand that numbness doesn't discriminate. It protects you from pain. By protecting you from everything. You're not joyless. You're pre-disappointed. A precautionary emotional stance. Number 8, you can explain your emotions, but you can't feel them. This one is the silent killer. You talk about your emotions with perfect clarity, as if you're narrating a documentary about someone else's life. You can describe anger. You can define sadness. You can analyze fear like a therapist with Wi-Fi. But when someone asks, so, and what do you actually feel? Your brain shows the loading icon. This is what emotional numbness really looks like. You have access to the data, but not the experience. It's intellectualized emotion. The mind stepping in because the body checked out. You learned early that feeling was unsafe. So you replace feeling with explaining. Because explaining keeps you in control. Feeling does not. Your survival brain would rather you sound wise than actually feel anything that might destabilize you. So you talk about emotions the way someone might talk about a city they've never visited. Accurate, detailed, impressive, but still not the same as being there. You're not detached from life. You're observing it from behind glass. A safe distance, where nothing can touch you and nothing can pull you under. Number 7, you feel responsible for everyone's emotions except your own. You don't feel your own emotions, but somehow you feel responsible for everyone else's. Ironic, isn't it? Someone gets angry. You try to calm them. Someone gets sad. You become the emotional support unit. Someone gets disappointed. You blame yourself. But ask yourself, when was the last time you allowed yourself to feel anything? Exactly. Here's the psychological switch. Taking care of everyone else was easier than dealing with yourself. Growing up, you learned that peace depended on you, that harmony was your job, that chaos was your responsibility. So your brain adapted. It muted your own emotional needs and redirected all your energy into managing other people's. People call it empathy. Survival psychology calls it something else. Hyper-responsibility, the emotional bodyguard response. You're numb not because you don't feel, but because you were never given permission to make space for yourself. Your feelings were postponed until they slipped off the calendar entirely. Number 6, your mind is loud, but your body feels dead quiet. This is the trademark of emotional numbness, a brain spinning at 200 km/h, inside a body that feels like it's on airplane mode. Your thoughts, non-stop, overanalyzing, predicting, replaying, simulating outcomes you'll never actually experience. But your body, flat, no spark, no drop in the stomach, no warmth in the chest, no I'm alive signals. People think numbness is peace. No, this is shutdown disguised as self-control. Because here's the biology. Emotions live in the body. But when emotions become too overwhelming, the brain disconnects from the body to keep you functional. It's not self-mastery, it's self-disconnection. Your mind carries the weight because your body refuses to feel it again. You're not emotionless, you're unanchored, living from the neck up, cut off from the signals that used to guide you. This is why numb people often seem calm. It's not calm, it's a freeze response wearing a suit. Number 5, you can't tell if you're tired, sad, or just done with everything. One of the clearest signs you're emotionally numb is this. Your internal signals all sound the same. Exhausted, sad, overwhelmed, burned out, emotionally collapsing. Your brain just reports one status: low battery. When you were younger, you could tell the difference. Your body whispered clues. Your emotions had color, texture, temperature. But now, everything blends into a single gray fog. Because when your system shuts down emotional processing, it also shuts down differentiation. Why? Because distinguishing emotions requires actually feeling them. And your survival brain decided that feeling things was a luxury you couldn't afford. So instead of emotions, you get categories like, I don't care, I don't know, I'm tired, I'm done. These aren't feelings. They're diagnostic codes for a system running on emergency power. People say, listen to your feelings. Huntin. Cute. You'd love to, if you could find them. You're not indifferent. You're overloaded. And overload disguises itself as emptiness. Number 4, you dissociate when things get too real, huh? Yes, the classic mentally checking out mid-conversation move. Not because you're rude, not because you're bored, but because your brain has learned a magic trick. Disappear before the world becomes too much. You're physically present, but your mind steps outside your body like it's watching from the exit door. This isn't daydreaming. This is self-evacuation, a strategic withdrawal, a psychological smoke bomb. Your system learned early that emotions can overwhelm faster than logic can protect you. So instead of fighting, your brain developed a cleaner response. Let's not be here. You drift, you detach, you go blank. People talk and you can hear them, but you're not in the hearing. You're floating above it, and the worst part, you're so good at dissociating that you barely notice you're doing it. Others think you're calm, focused, unbothered, but inside you've slipped into the escape hatch your mind built years ago. You're not disconnected from reality. You're disconnected from impact. It's your brain's way of saying, if we don't feel it, it can't hurt us. Number 3, you don't trust your own emotional reactions anymore. Some people fear other people's emotions. You fear your own, not because they're dangerous, but because they feel unreliable. One day you respond, one day you don't. One moment you care too much, the next moment you feel nothing at all. So your brain makes the logical move. If I can't predict my emotions, I won't use them to make decisions. Emotion becomes a malfunctioning GPS, sometimes recalculating, sometimes freezing, sometimes sending you into a lake. And since you don't trust the system, you stop relying on it. You overthink instead. You reason your way through relationships, negotiations, conflicts, dreams, your own identity. People say, follow your heart, right? If only you could locate the damn thing. What looks like emotional detachment is actually emotional doubt. You learn that your reactions were punished, dismissed, or ignored. So now you don't trust them at all. You're not indecisive, you're unvalidated. And numbness is what happens when the emotional compass loses all calibration. Number two, you feel like you're watching your life, not living it. This is the existential signature of emotional numbness. Life turns into a movie you didn't audition for. You wake up, you move, you speak, you work, you laugh on command. But nothing touches you. Everything feels slightly out of sync, as if there's a half-second delay between you and the world you're supposed to be inside of. You're not depressed. You're not lazy. You're not lost. Your system is in observation mode, not participation mode. Because somewhere along the line, life became too sharp, too loud, too unpredictable, too painful. So your brain pulled you out of the driver's seat and put you behind the glass, where things can still happen, but they can't hit you directly. It's not emptiness. It's emotional shock absorption. You're living, just not from within. You're watching the world the way a security camera watches a room, present but disconnected, recording but not engaging. People think you're calm, stable, collected, but the truth is simpler and darker. You stopped expecting life to feel like anything at all. Number one, you're fine because feeling anything would break you. Open here's the deepest sign you're emotionally numb. You default to I'm fine, not because you are, but because anything more honest would expose a dam your brain refuses to let crack. I'm fine is not an answer. It's a containment strategy, a lid, a seal, a pressure valve welded shut by years of emotional triage. You're not fine. You're functional. And functionality is the survival upgrade numb people excel at. You show up. You get things done. You handle crises with surgeon-like precision. People even admire your composure. What they don't understand is this. Stability becomes easy when nothing gets inside you anymore. Numbness is misunderstood as strength because it looks like control. But it's not control. It's conservation. Your system isn't avoiding emotion. It's rationing it. You learned that breaking down was a luxury you weren't allowed. So your brain offered you a cheaper alternative. No breakdown, but also no breakthrough. You're not heartless. Your heart is exhausted. I'm fine is just the safest lie you know how to tell. Emotional numbness wasn't your failure. It was your shield. The only way your system knew to keep you functioning. You didn't choose it. It happened because feeling everything would have broken you open. But here's the real shift. You're not numb because you have no emotion. You're numb because your emotions never had a safe place to land. The goal isn't to fix yourself or to force feelings back online. It starts smaller. Notice when you disconnect. Notice the tension. Notice the blank spots. Awareness is the first crack in the armor, the signal to your nervous system that it's safe to feel 1 inch more than before. You were never broken, just protected. And now those protected parts are finally ready to surface.